Lady Gaga only. She makes good music. Story 1. Female-fronted metal is huge in Europe, so Nightwish, Within Temptation, Deline, Xandria. The list goes on. Fiona Apple, Nina, and Dua Lipa are more pop-related favorites of mine. Story 2. Too many to properly list as well. Why wouldn't I? What, is there someone out there saying listening to women singers is gay again? Yes, let me do the straightest thing ever, this guy that sounds like he's gargling gravel. Story 3. Linda Ronstadt, Joni Mitchell, Carole King, The Roaches, Kate Bush and Wilson, Patsy Cline, Aretha Franklin, Annie Lennox, Tina Turner, Karen Carpenter, Janis Joplin, Carly Simon, Bonnie Raitt, Olivia Newton-John, K. D. Lang, Melissa Etheridge, and on and on and on. Story 4. Lady Gaga only? Have you never heard any other good female singers? How about Aretha Franklin, Hart, Nico Case, Tammy Wynette, Janis Joplin, Patsy Cline, Amy Winehouse, the Shirelles, the Highwomen, the Chicks, Blondie, Sheena Easton, Sheila E., Patti Page, Julie London, Lena Horne, Billie Holiday, Pat Benatar, the Go-Go's, the Donnas, the Runaways, Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, Emmylou Harris, Brandi Carlile, Brandi Clark, Sarah Vaughan, Norah Jones, Tori Amos, or Bette Midler. Story 5. I prefer female singers. I like electronic dance music, and 75% of the singers there are women. I also like female singer-songwriters like Ingrid Michaelson, Sigrid, Suzanne Vega, and Sarah Bareilles, among many others. I also like bands with female lead singers like the Cranberries, Garbage, and Katzenjammer, among many others. Story 6. I generally listen to more female-fronted bands like Nightwish, In This Moment, Icon for Hire, Serenia, Diamante, Hailstorm, Butcher Babies, and Arch Enemy. Story 7. Janis Joplin, Gabriella from Argentina 1971 to 1972, YMA Sumac, Carmencita Lara, Maria Callas, Elia and Elizabeth, Lucha Reyes, Malvina Reynolds, Etta James, Nina Simone, Norma Taniga, Sister Rosetta. So many more. Story 8. PJ Harvey, Alanis Morissette, Tori Amos, but nothing too serious. I would love to get into more female artists, but metal ruined them for me. I do like listening to bands like Nightwish, The Gathering, White Skull, Theater of Tragedy, etc. once in a while, but in smaller doses. Story 9. Well, I don't usually listen to the whole album of most artists, but here are some of mine. Sandra, the 1980s German synthpop artist. Laura Branigan. Kim Carnes, Betty Davis Eyes. Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill. Madonna, earlier songs like La Isla Bonita and Like a Prayer. Blondie with Debbie Harry. Call Me. Belinda Carlisle. Circle in the Sand. Irene Cara. What a Feeling. Pat Benatar. Love is a Battlefield. Jennifer Rush. Power of Love. Cyndi Lauper. Time After Time. Lisa Stansfield. All Around the World. Tammy Wynette. Stand By Your Man. Lynn Anderson. Rose Garden. Story 10. Not very often, but off the top of my head. Adele, Lady Gaga, Dua Lipa, Kylie Minogue, Lisa Gerrard or Dead Can Dance, Tori Amos, Hart, Annie Lennox or The Eurythmics, The Cranberries, Mazzy Star, Annabelle Englund, Garbage, Jackie Ivanko, Linda Ronstadt, Dolly Parton, The Carpenters, Pink, Casey Musgraves, Fleetwood Mac, The Bangles, Halsey, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Susie and the Banshees, Elastica, Hole, The Breeders, Patsy Cline, Kate Bush, Enya, Churches, Blondie, Duffy, Pat Benatar, Alison Moye or Yaz, Florence and the Machine, The Yes, Bananarama, Ellie Goulding, Hala, Suzanne Vega, Alanis Morissette, Fiona Apple, Jewel, Sarah McLachlan, Feist, Cannons, Santi Gold, Kaleida. Story 11. I'm 40, and I absolutely love Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. Then you take me back to the 2000s with Lil' Kim, Aaliyah, Lauryn Hill, and Missy Elliott. I'm completely sold. Story 12. I like a handful of songs by Carly Rae Jepsen. Other songs by female artists too. but I don't have a favorite where I listen to a whole album's worth of songs. Story 13. PJ Harvey, Angel Olsen, Alice Phoebe Liu, actually my hero, Sharon Van Etten, Waze Blood, Grace Slick, Joni Mitchell, Jasmine Rogers, Sky Edwards of Morchiba, Sinead Lohan, Amethyst Kia, and Summer Woods come to mind. I guess I listen to a lot of indie folk rockish stuff. I have eyes on Rai Omri's pending debut album, probably going to be to my taste. I wish Kristen Milioti would put out an album or at least a single for her two known original songs, but I sense publishing music isn't her main focus right now, so bootleg concert footage is mostly all I get. Edit. Forgot Stevie Nicks. I've been meaning to get more into Florence and the Machine. Oh, and I forgot Cryashell, I Was a Child of Bionicle, Nina Hagen, The Breeders, Garbage, and Portishead. Story 14. There are so many talented female singers out there. Sade, Billie Holiday, Little Sims, Maria Callas, Eva Cassidy, Nina Simone, Ella Fitzgerald, Stevie Nicks, Annie Wilson, Kate Bush, and many more. Story 15. As I've gotten older, I've transitioned from listening to almost exclusively male singers to almost exclusively female. There's no real reason why, it's just how my tastes developed. Sleater-Kinney, Kate Bush, St. Vincent, Bjork, and many other alternative artists are among my favorites. The only male artists I really listen to are in hip-hop or are rappers. Story 16. Susie and the Banshees. Fiona Apple. Hole, despite how problematic Courtney Love is, MIA can get me dancing. Warpaint. Mila Jovovich has some lovely songs on her site. Diving Up is a favorite. I feel like I have more, but I'm a little drunk. Story 17. The Yosobi duo and low-key Sabrina Carpenter have me in a chokehold. Also Lauryn Hill when she did vocals for the Fugees. Sabina Sayaba of Brazilian Girls, Laufey, and Aika are also new favorites. Lots to list, but these are my latest. Story 18. Joan Jett, Tori Amos, Polly a little lately. Other than that, I have to admit that rock and roll works best with manly vocals, but I am old as dirt so don't listen to me. Story 19. Many. I mostly prefer female vocalists, but I don't seek out specific ones for the most part. A few would be Portishead, Morchiba, and Massive Attack just off the top of my head. Story 20. Jane, Alizée, Dua Lipa. I don't understand French, but I discovered Alizée and love her live concert on YouTube from 2004. Also, her story is amazing. I'm a 58-year-old guy in Australia. Story 21. I like to chill to Cannons. For me, the music is relaxing and I like a lot of their videos. My wife thinks I'm watching because of the lead singer Michelle Joy, but I really just enjoy both. Story 22. From most known to least probably. Taylor, Sabrina, Miley, Carly Rae, and then bands like Garbage, Hole, Ladytron, Jucifer, and Azure Ray. Kind of a lot, I guess. Story 23. Indeed, I do. If she is beautiful, then all the better. Here's my list. Linda Ronstadt, Judy Collins, Grace Slick, Heart Sisters, Kate Bush, Go-Go's, Bangles, Kindi Liped, Patti Smith, Belinda Carlisle, Enya, Celtic Woman, Janette Napolitano, Concrete Blonde, Elizabeth Fraser, Cocteau Twins, Dolores O'Riordan, The Cranberries, Lee Nash, Sixpence None the Richer, Bach Benatar, Debbie Harry, Karen Carpenter, Dido, Natalie Imbruglia. Story 24. Delilah Bond, Sophie Hunter, Bad Baby, Doeki I, Glorilla, Dear Matilda, Lady Parts. Taylor Swift if I'm feeling a fresh heartbreak but not otherwise. Story 25. I'd say the female-to-male singer ratio in the music I listen to is maybe 60-40. Some on high rotation lately. Churches, Lauren Mayberry, The Beths, Angie McMahon, Tove Lo, Cowboy Junkies, Hyam, Robin, Lord, Middle Kids. Story 26. Conquer Divide. Fifth Dawn. Taylor Acorn. In This Moment. Cassidy Pope. Maggie Lindemann. Uha. Lights. Lacey Sturm. Mafika. Dua Lipa. Nightwish. Halsey. Taylor Swift. Future Palace. Story 27. Well, time to toss out one you may not have heard of, because all my interests are just niche enough to be popular but not enough for people to know what I'm talking about. Halasiji. She is amazing. Story 28. Stream of Passion, Nightwish, Unleash the Archers, Archenemy, Oceans of Slumber, Lacuna Coil, The Gathering, and those are just off the top of my head. Story 29. Yes, many of them. Not sure why you're limiting yourself to Lady Gaga. Her voice is good, but there is an entire world you're missing. By the way, if you like Lady Gaga and you haven't heard her duet with Tony Bennett, you're missing out. Story 30. I have seen other questions like this, and it always boggles my mind. I listen to a lot of music, and my only concern is whether I like it or not. It never even occurs to me to like or dislike it based on the singer's gender. Story 31. Sharon van Etten, Angel Olsen, Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish, Robin, Mitski, Lucy Dacus, The Cranberries, Texas, Blondie, Florence and the Machine, Goldfrapp, Meg Myers. These are my top 13 on Spotify. Story 32. Too many. I listened to this channel on Pandora that brought up all these random girl singers I've never heard of, but I love their music. Like Jen Wigmore, Caro Emerald, Bittersweet, Ivy Levon, Katzenjammer, and a lot of others. Story 33. More than I used to. Call it a mixture of my tastes expanding while more women become involved in the kinds of music I already liked. Currently enjoying Adrienne Lenker and Ad Infinitum, fronted by Swiss metal singer and songwriter Melissa Bonney, in particular. Melissa is especially incredible, with a great voice plus a strong grasp on the historical and mythological motifs which inform her songwriting. Story 34. I like a lot of obscure ones. Young Ejecta, Pix, and many others. They deliver something completely different from many male singers that is ultimately inspiring in its own way. That's why. Story 35. So many. But one of my favorites is Sarah Taylor from The Birthday Massacre. Amazing voice and such a kind, humble person. Funny story. I was at a concert by The Birthday Massacre once with a girl I was dating. She told me, she's lip-syncing. There's no way she sounds that good. And like a movie script, as soon as she finished saying that, someone threw a stuffed animal on stage, startling the vocalist with an audible, "Ah!" that was very clearly amplified by the microphone, and the lyrics were very clearly interrupted. For the rest of the night, my ex was so salty about being proven wrong in such a comical manner. Story 36. Salt for some deep R&B. Wolf Alice has a very unique vibe. Violent Vera for angst. Fiona Apple and Hayley Williams are a couple of the best songwriters of all time. Too many options. Story 37. The Pretty Wild, Butcher Babies, Eva Under Fire, Spirit Box, Anchor, Poppy, The Warning, Hailstorm, The Pretty Reckless, Vanna, Dorothy. I know there's more. Story 38. Shaka Khan Sometimes. It's a guilty pleasure. Tell me something good and I feel for you. I have noticed I listen almost exclusively to male artists, though. Story 39. Many across many genres. As far as solo female acts, I have Avril Lavigne, Ashniko, and Chappell Roan on my playlist, Missy Elliott and Snow the Product from the rap side. Female-fronted bands, of course, include Paramore and Evanescence, but Nightwish are also always in rotation. Story 40. Dude, so many. Right now, one of my favorites is Kankamusa. Heard her on an Aaron Fraser song and fell in love with her voice. Can't understand a word she says, though. Story 41. Pretty Reckless, Hailstorm, Evanescence, Diamante, Paramore, In This Moment, Amaranth, Flyleaf, Fireflight, Jen Ledger, Eyes Set to Kill, New Year's Day, Butcher Babies, Dream State, Baby Metal. Montage Rock on YouTube comes out with a few new upcomers occasionally. Roadrunner Records 2. Story 42. Sinead O'Connor. Dolores O'Riordan. Cesaria Evora. Sad. Skenk Anansi. Dolly Parton. Imini. Florence and the Machine. Archive. Vaya con Dios. That's only a few voices that this question made echo in my memory. Another 10 singing in my language. Story 43. Halsey. That girl saved my life. I discovered her at a serious low point in my life and listened to her secretly. Watching and enjoying her interviews, artistry, and vision while measuring her character just gave me such hope for my daughter's futures. She's a badass, and I'm not ashamed to say that if I could fall into a warm swimming pool of her music, vision, and drive, man. Also, Poppy, I just found her. Badass stuff. Story 44. Questions like this always kill me. Like, dude, what the heck? Are you so brain dead that you really think that, as a man, you're not supposed to listen to female singers? Humanity is doomed. Story 45. Canons. Meg Myers. Fiona Apple. Emo. Dido. Chromatics. Sia. Portishead. Duffy. Elephant. Amy Winehouse. Tina Dixon. There's way too many. Story 46. Lana Del Rey. Taylor Swift. Lindsey Sterling. Maluka. Aretha Franklin. Ekaterina Shilahova. Joni Mitchell. Sarah Bareilles. Amy Winehouse. Adele. Norah Jones, etc. Story 47. Freaking hell. What kind of ridiculous question is this? What are you going to ask next? Do you watch shows or movies that have actresses? Do you read any books written by female authors? Do you eat food cooked by females? Story 48. Alex Isley, Cleo Sol, Solange, Beyonce, Kia, Naipom from Hiatus Coyote, Anna Wise, April and Vista, Tekua Lakika, SZA, Janet Jackson. The list could go on. Story 49. Tons of different women in metal and rock bands, too many for me to start listing all. Nightwish, Epica, Deline, Spiritbox, Jinja, Battle Beast, Cobra and the Lotus, Hailstorm, Arch Enemy, Lacuna Coil, Poppy, Ephenemer, Amaranth, Elvady, Elvalon, Baby Metal, Soulborn. Story 50. Too many to count, laugh out loud. So many amazing women singers, past and present. Enya for sure. Dolores O'Riordan was an extreme talent. Sarah Bareilles, Bird York, First Aid Kit, Camille O'Sullivan, Lenka. The list goes on and on. Story 51. Call me basic, but my top artists right now are Billie Eilish, Lizzie McAlpine, Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, Gracie Abrams, Taylor Swift, and Olivia Rodrigo. I also learned about Sophie Hunter a few months ago. She's been fun to listen to. The Warning is a rock trio of sisters from Mexico who occasionally incorporate Spanish into their songs. They're fun. I haven't listened to Paramore in a while, but I'm also a fan. Lady Gaga only? Hopefully the jazz too. Story 52. Yes, plenty. While certainly a male-dominated genre, there are plenty of great female metal vocalists. I just saw Poppy a week ago. I'm seeing Jinja in a couple of weeks. Tatiana is incredible. Spiritbox are one of my favorite bands. One of my favorite Australian metal bands is Make Them Suffer, who have female clean and harsh supporting vocals. And of course, every metal band these days seems to need an obligatory collaboration with Baby Metal, and they're all fantastic, though I don't really listen to them on their own. Story 53. A bunch. I don't have a single female artist I follow, though. I will say the drastic contrast between a grizzled, raspy male voice and a soft but sweet female voice just resonates with me. But overall, I'll listen to any gender as long as they have a great tune and an impressive vocal ability. I'm sold. Story 54. I'm older, so I grew up loving Joan Jett and Blondie and some Suzy Sue and Patti Smith. I still enjoy their music. In terms of music released this century, I've been enjoying The Interrupters, which is fronted by a talented singer. Lady Gaga is very creative, and I think she is an amazing artist, though I do not have any of her music.